What if Caesar's legion had triumphed at Hoover Dam? The Mojave Wasteland would have been utterly transformed. In this video, we'll explore how a legion victory would alter the power dynamics of the Mojave, reshape the fates of key factions, and redefine life for its inhabitants. Without the courier's intervention, the legion's success at Hoover Dam sets the stage for a brutal new era, but one not without its challenges and limitations. In this alternate timeline, the turning point at Hoover Dam comes when the Legion avoids the NCR's trap at Boulder City. Rather than pursuing NCR forces into the heavily mined town, Joshua Graham advises a more cautious approach. The Legion instead fortifies key positions along the Colorado River, cutting off NCR supply lines and forcing their forces into a protracted siege. This strategic patience pays off, as the NCR, stretched thin and unable to reinforce their troops, ultimately capitulates under the relentless pressure of the Legion's superior numbers and discipline. With Boulder City avoided, the Legion's casualties are significantly reduced, allowing them to press their advantage and overwhelm the remaining NCR forces at Hoover Dam. The victory is decisive, cementing the Legion's dominance in the Mojave and forcing the NCR into a full retreat. The careful strategy not only ensures success but also solidifies Joshua Graham's reputation as a brilliant tactician, keeping him in Caesar's favor. With the new California Republic's forces crushed at Hoover Dam, the NCR retreats westward, unable to maintain its overstretched supply lines and morale. Caesar's legion takes control of the dam, solidifying its dominance over the Mojave. Joshua Graham, still Caesar's trusted legate, leads the mopping-up operations, ensuring no remnants of NCR resistance linger in the region. Despite the victory, the Legion's technological limitations hinder its ability to fully exploit Hoover Dam's resources. The dam's power output remains underutilized due to a lack of technical expertise, leaving the Legion unable to distribute electricity across its territory. Helios 1 and the Archimedes system similarly remain mysteries to the Legion, powerful assets rendered impotent by their disdain for technology. For the average wastelander, life changes drastically. The Legion imposes its strict, authoritarian rule across the Mojave, prioritizing order and stability over personal freedom. Chem use is eradicated, raider gangs are systematically destroyed, and crime is punished swiftly and brutally. Towns like Novak, Primm, and Goodsprings face a choice: capitulate to Legion rule or face annihilation. While some wastelanders appreciate the security the Legion provides, others chafe under its draconian policies. The complete subjugation of women and the strict social hierarchy create deep resentment among certain groups. The followers of the apocalypse are especially targeted, as their education and humanitarian efforts threaten Caesar's narrative. Many are executed or enslaved, while a few are forced into hiding. The super mutants and nightkin, already a marginalized group in the Mojave, fare poorly under Legion rule. Jacobstown, the last sanctuary for peaceful mutants, is viewed as a threat due to its independence and is forcibly disbanded. Marcus and his followers are scattered or enslaved, their attempts at diplomacy crushed under the weight of the Legion's ideology. The state of Utobitha, previously a chaotic domain under Tabitha, is also destroyed, with any remaining mutants hunted down or enslaved. The Legion's strict hierarchy and disdain for abominations leave no place for super mutants, leading to their near extinction in the region. The NCR, defeated and humiliated, the NCR focuses on rebuilding its core territories west of the Mojave. However, the loss of Hoover Dam and the Mojave's resources sparks political turmoil back home, with many citizens questioning the government's expansionist policies. The NCR's military adopts a defensive posture, bracing for potential Legion incursions into California. Robert House's plans for an independent New Vegas collapse. With the Legion's overrun of the Mojave, he is unable to retrieve the platinum chip and enact his vision for the New World. House is unable to upgrade his Securitron army or activate the additional Securitrons stored at Fortification Hill. This leaves him unable to defend the Strip against the Legion's onslaught. The Legion overruns the Strip, executing House and dismantling his existing Securitron forces. The casinos are stripped of their glamour, repurposed as administrative centers or barracks for Legion soldiers. The once thriving tourist hub becomes a shadow of its former self, with its inhabitants enslaved or forced into menial labor. The Legion capitalizes on its alliance with the Great Khans, integrating them as auxiliary forces. While the Khans initially enjoy greater autonomy, their eventual absorption into the Legion's ranks erases much of their cultural identity. Some members savor the defeat of the NCR, relishing their role in toppling their longtime oppressors. However, this victory is bittersweet as they grapple with their loss of independence and identity within the Legion's rigid societal structure. Internal tensions arise as some Khans question whether their alliance with the Legion was worth the price of their culture and traditions. The Brotherhood becomes a prime target for the Legion. Though technologically superior, the Brotherhood is outnumbered and isolated. The Legion's relentless attacks and control over trade routes cut the Brotherhood off from critical supplies, including parts necessary to maintain their bunkers' air filtration systems. With survival becoming untenable, dissent brews within the Brotherhood's ranks. Elder Nolan McNamara is ousted due to his isolationist policies, and head Paladin Hardin takes over leadership. Hardin leads a desperate evacuation, abandoning the Mojave in search of safer territory, destroying their technological treasures on their way out to prevent them from falling into Legion hands. The followers suffer greatly under Legion rule. Known for their humanitarian efforts, commitment to education, and advocacy for freedom, the followers are viewed as a direct ideological threat to Caesar's authoritarian regime. Many of their clinics and outposts are raided, and their members are given an ultimatum: swear allegiance to the Legion or face execution or enslavement. Without safe havens, the followers are forced underground, forming hidden networks to provide aid to enslaved wastelanders and foment resistance against the Legion. Despite these efforts, their influence in the Mojave is drastically diminished, and their survival remains precarious under the watchful eye of Caesar's enforcers. Smaller factions like the Boomers, the Kings, and the Omertas are all forced to reckon with Legion rule. While the Boomers' isolationism initially spares them from conquest, they are eventually coerced into subservience. The Kings are destroyed for their perceived insolence, while the Omertas are absorbed into the Legion structure, losing their autonomy in the process. A Legion-dominated Mojave is defined by discipline, efficiency, and brutality. The Legion's military remains unmatched, its soldiers hardened by grueling training and unwavering loyalty. Trade routes flourish under their protection, free from the extortionate taxes and rampant raiders that plagued NCR territory. However, maintaining these routes across such a vast and often hostile territory poses significant challenges. The Legion relies heavily on its disciplined army to safeguard caravans, but the lack of technological infrastructure, such as functioning railways or robust communication systems, complicates coordination and efficiency. Furthermore, the diversity of the conquered lands introduces economic disparities, as some regions lack the resources or infrastructure to contribute effectively, putting additional strain on the Legion's centralized logistics network. Caravanners like Dale Barton thrive, citing lower costs and greater security under Legion rule. Culturally, the Legion enforces a unified identity through strict propaganda. Historical Roman iconography is adapted into posters, coins, and ceremonies designed to reinforce the legitimacy of Caesar's rule. Stories of Caesar's tactical brilliance and divine mandate are disseminated through controlled oral traditions, ensuring loyalty among the lower classes while suppressing dissenting voices. Despite their attempts at cultural homogenization, the Legion faces resistance in territories where tribal traditions and NCR-aligned ideologies persist. However, governing a vast and diverse territory proves to be a monumental challenge. The Legion struggles to administer the sheer number of people and cultures now under its control. Different tribes and settlements, each with their own traditions, languages, and needs, often resist assimilation into the Legion's rigid system. This cultural diversity creates logistical nightmares for the Legion's administrators, who are unaccustomed to managing anything beyond martial and economic discipline. Resources are stretched thin, and maintaining order becomes increasingly difficult. Additionally, the Legion's oppressive policies sow seeds of rebellion. Tribals and wastelanders alike begin to resent their loss of autonomy, creating an undercurrent of resistance. These small rebellions are swiftly crushed, but they highlight the inherent instability of the Legion's empire. Caesar's own mortality looms large over the Legion. His untreated cancer will inevitably lead to his death, which will leave a power vacuum at the core of the regime. In the aftermath, ambitious figures like Joshua Graham and Legate Lannius vie for dominance, each representing different visions for the Legion's future. Graham's tactical brilliance and potential for reform clash with Lannius's brutal, unyielding enforcement of Caesar's original vision. The lack of a clear succession plan exacerbates the instability, fracturing the once cohesive Legion into rival factions and sparking internal conflicts that threaten to unravel their fragile empire. His untreated cancer eventually cut Caesar's life short, leading to the crumbling of his once great empire. Without a clear succession plan, the Legion fractures into competing factions, with ambitious commanders vying for control in the wake of Caesar's death. This internal strife, combined with external pressures, leads to the fall of Caesar's Legion into small groups that live in shadow of the once mighty Legion. Caesar's victory at Hoover Dam cements the Legion as the dominant power in the Mojave, but it's a fragile empire. While the Legion's discipline and brutality bring order to the wasteland, its technological limitations and oppressive policies create cracks in its foundation. Over time, these vulnerabilities threaten to unravel the Legion's control, leaving the Mojave's future uncertain. What do you think? Would life under Caesar's Legion be a necessary evil or an unbearable tyranny? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.